As listeners of this show, you know by now that both Travis and myself have relocated our bad selves and our businesses to the tropical paradise of Puerto Rico. Many of you have asked why we made the move and what our experience has been like so far. Today, we're lounging poolside at the Travilla to share with you the financial and personal benefits of moving to Puerto Rico, as well as things we have discovered in our time here thus far. So grab a margarita, lather on the sunscreen, and brush up on your espanol as we bring you a muy bueno episode 580 of el podcast criptográfico malo.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Buenas noches y buenas tardes in all the nachos to those of you. This is the Bad Crypto Podcast.
Buenos retardes.
That's us. we're the good retards. You can't say that. I'm offended. Oh, good.
It's okay.
Then you're in the right place.
So, I listened to 14 seconds of the show, and I was too offended.
I'm out.
Not enough information on this one.
No bueno. That's what we have to say about this show. So, welcome to the show, gang. This is going to be like a fireside chat, only a poolside because there's no fireside.
But you can't see the pool because it's over there.
We might
Fire
shoot
pit here
some
yet.
bonus video.
Okay, we can do that.
Right? Do you want to we can do that. So if you go to the show notes for this, bagco.in/580, you'll find the video that we're uploading to YouTube that will have some extras in it, a little bonus. We'll shoot some video here in the yard and show people the Travilla, where hopefully sometime this year there will be a Bad Crypto party.
Maybe we do the 5-year anniversary here.
Oh, the bad anniversary.
This would be the after party. Have something where they and have the after party here,
Right.
or something. I'm not sure. I don't know how many of you hoodlums I want to have in my hood.
Right. You're going to need to own an NFT
Oh yeah,
to get in.
for sure.
Yeah. The bored skunks.
Yeah, the stinky skunks. That's not even an NFT series. I'm surprised at this point.
You don't know that.
Might be.
It could be.
It could be.
So a lot of people have asked us, why did you guys move to Puerto Rico?
And I say, none of your business.
Yeah, but you don't say it in Spanish
Yeah, I don't.
because we really don't know Spanish.
You know what? I know I know a little bit of Spanish. I know enough Spanish to be pretty good at the drive-thru. This is pretty good. It's like all you really need to know is enough Spanish to be like, yo quiero número 2 combo hamburguesa con papas fritas número 2 large grande y necesito ketchup y napkins. Oh. Something. Por favor.
You are el jefe. Those of you watching the video, you'll now see Rufus. You've heard about Rufus in the past, our dog belonging to myself and producer Aaron, and he's here on my lap. And Travis's dog Tuki is here too. Maybe you'll show her off.
No.
She's sitting.
Tuki's sitting over there.
She's the camera
Tuki,
girl.
Are you watching the camera?
She's handling the
You
camera.
watching it? Oh yeah, she's paying attention. She's aptly paying attention.
So thanks for joining us. We're going to do a little storytelling here. I first heard about Puerto Rico as a destination for entrepreneurs via Rufus. You're standing on my headphone cable. Via our friend John Lee Dumas, the host of the extremely wildly popular Entrepreneurs on Fire podcast. John moved here with his girlfriend and now fiancée, Kate. They're getting married.
Oh,
Congratulations, guys. They moved here about 5 years ago, and they had discovered something called the Act 20 and Act 22 incentives. Mm-hmm. And all I understood is that there were some sort of tax incentives that if you lived here, then you would have to pay less federal income tax and less capital gains. But I didn't know much more about it.
Yeah. And I first heard about it from Joel telling me about it.
Yeah. That's so John has he talked about it on his podcast, and he filmed a video of the JLD Palace. He's got this beautiful place in Palmas del Mar.
That view is spectacular.
Unbelievable.
I can see why I was chatting with him on New Year's, and I was like, Because the sun pops up right there. I was like, dude, how many sunrises do you? He goes, Joe, what, every morning. I get up at 5 o'clock. I see the sunrise. Like you see so much. You see way more sunrises than most people. Like most everyone.
Like I never see sunrises. I could.
You know what's interesting about that though is I watched this video on that. Is that early morning sunrise based on because we're energy beings. Think about how plants need photosynthesis. So we in some ways need sun. We got to have sun. You get vitamin D from the sunlight. But apparently that first 30 minutes from the sun is a different kind of sunlight. It's the red spectrum more so, which is like really healthy and stuff. And so going up and actually seeing a sunrise, super healthy for you.
And I live on the beach. I could. I just would get up in the middle of the night. Because I usually don't get to sleep till 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm a creature of the night. So John shot a video and gave a tour of his place and talked a little bit about why he moved. We're going to embed that in the show notes along with our video at badco.in/580 if you want to see that. But he became the Pied Piper of Palmas. That once he started talking about it, other people started looking at it and asking, wait, you could do what? That's what we're going to tell you guys about why we've done this.
How many people do you think is he directly responsible for me? Because I'm indirectly responsible for him because he talked to you. You heard about it, and we're like, hey, we're in the crypto. And I do want to share this because this is kind of a joke that I say. Is like if you don't know anything about crypto, your crypto level's 0. Crypto level 1 is, you got a Coinbase account, and maybe you connected it to your bank, and now you're able to buy a little bit of crypto. Crypto level 2 is maybe you got your MetaMask.
Level up.
Yeah, you level up. You get your crypto. You get a MetaMask. You get set up with your Ethereum wallet, right? So now you can buy NFTs, and you can go on OpenSea and connect your wallet. Then you learn how to, I can add multiple chains to networks to my MetaMask. Right?
Level up.
So and then you start doing some maybe that's like level 3 and doing some DeFi.
Now you're getting all buff.
Yeah, you got your crypto wallets. You're starting to flex it.
You're like the Mario that ate the mushroom and then got the power up thing. So you go, pew 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 pew.
Oh yeah, nice. Right. That's like level 4, and then you start. You're doing the DeFi. You understand this. You understand. Maybe you do some rebasing stuff. You've hodled some Bitcoin. You've grown it up, and then level 5 is you move to Puerto
That's
Rico.
where you pick up the star, and you're like invulnerable for 15 seconds.
No, that's when you go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Well, level 5 is finish him. Right. It's the final move.
Well, no, there's level 6, and then there's level 7, which is somehow get a yacht.
We can't tell you about that one though. You have to be. Yeah.
Dude, there's some people here. We actually hung out on New Year's Eve on this dude's yacht. We're gonna chat with him in a couple episodes. But like, wow, like hanging out. I don't think it was quite a super yacht, but it was pretty super.
It was pretty super. I don't know.
Those mega super yachts.
Yeah.
I think maybe what's it called? I don't know.
It was pretty amazing.
It has an elevator in it. That tells you how big of a boat it is.
Right. Take me down to the crew cabins.
So it's like I look at it like this. Like I'm like baby crypto guys compared to the other people who are here in Puerto Rico and crypto. You might be listening like, those guys have earned so much. We haven't. No, we haven't, but enough to like not want to give it all away.
Right. What we realized is by moving to Puerto Rico, not only could we live somewhere with an amazing climate, but we could also be surrounded by like-minded, amazing people and keep more of the money that we have earned legally. And so what John taught us and then what we have all discovered is that there are tax incentives on the island that were initially labeled as Act 20 and 22. And here's what you need to know. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. It's a commonwealth, right, of the United States. But it's not a state. And as our founding fathers brilliantly set up, there is no taxation without representation. So those who
That's
live...
the key. There's no taxation without representation. Exactly, since Puerto Rico is not a state. And they kind of aspire to be, but not really because they don't really teach English. Everybody speaks Spanish. It's everywhere. The television, the news, everything's in Spanish. But it's like, that's the weird thing to me. It's like, if they want to be a state, which a lot of people say they do, well then how do you not know Spanish? And how do you not know English as a second language? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, they don't teach it. They don't really teach it. That's how it is. But we are part of the U.S. So moving here doesn't require a passport. You just get on the plane and you you pick up and you move.
And friends go, "Oh, I'm going to come see you, but I don't have a passport." I'm like,
Right.
you
Well,
don't need
you don't
one.
need one. Just get
It's
on the
America.
plane.
Okay,
Yeah, just get on the plane.
Okay.
But because there's no taxation without representation, the tax incentives that they have here, I can't remember which is 20 and which is Act 22, but now they've combined them into Act 60, which is really funny because 20 plus 20 is 40. I don't know how they got to 60, but
One was 22 and one was 20, right?
20 plus 22 is 42,
They
which
must
is-
already had an Act 42.
it's the meaning of life.
Yeah, they might have already had one of those, though.
So one of them applies to you as a personal investor. So as a personal investor, there are requirements that you have to jump through a few hoops. Really small requirements. Live on the island for half the year plus 1 day. Like have feet on the ground.
Yeah, 183 days.
Correct. And you can't spend more than 3 months in the continental U.S. Okay, so you could be anywhere else in the world that you want, or you can spend your full 12 months here. You have to pay a few $1,000s to get some licensing and paperwork done, and then you have to give $10,000 a year to Puerto Rico endorsed 501c3 charities. So don't tax, donation basically. At the consequences, 10.
10.
They change it each year, so I use the guys at relocatepuertorico.com.
And we had them on a podcast long ago.
We did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we did. We may. I know that we had multiple conversations with them. Did we ever get them on a show? We might not have, but I thought we did.
I don't think we did. I don't think we've talked about this before because we would have gone at it at length then.
Don't know.
Yeah. So if we did, then
Is episode number from
we're old and we've forgotten
It's possible.
because we live in island life.
Well,
man.
because the thing is that when island boys. No, the thing is that we'll have Zoom calls with them, and it's like I don't know. Remember that was a Zoom call or was that an interview that was on a show?
I think that was a Zoom call.
Okay, it might have been a Zoom
Yeah.
call.
You're getting senile already.
You didn't get that Zoom call. You
guys weren't invited to that Zoom call. Sorry.
Neither was Rufus.
And get the memo. He's
Sorry,
okay with it,
Rufus.
though. He's chill. So you pay your fees, and it doesn't hurt your fees. And then here's the benefit. Here's the payoff. From the moment you set foot on the island, you plant your flag, you don't pay any capital gains on new investments. So let's say day one I moved here, I bought a crypto at 5 cents. It went up to $1, and I sold it here. I would pay zero capital gains on that. If I bought it 6 months before I moved here, and then 6 months after I moved here, I sold it and had a gain, I would pay capital gains on half of that increase. So basically, as a U.S. investor, capital gains taxes can, take 20 to 30% of your income.
Yeah. Well, and it depends on how much you make, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Sugar?
there's some of that too. There is tiering to it. I don't know. I'm not a CPA, but
Yeah.
we do recommend Clinton Donnelly, DonnellyTaxLaw.com. He's a frequent guest on the show. He'll be back on in February to talk about the latest crypto regulation. Great CPA firm.
Yeah. And, there's an article that just popped up yesterday, and somebody sent it to me. I think it was on Fox News. Like, oh, crypto, Puerto Rico turning into a haven for crypto people.
Mm-hmm.
And
I got interviewed for a thing that showed up in the New York Post.
did you really?
We'll link that here,
Oh, nice.
Producer Aaron, in the show notes. Also, Theo was in it.
Oh, very nice.
Theo, that was just on episode 578 of the show.
Okay, very nice. I would say this, I love the climate. I love the views are beautiful. The island is spectacular. But they've gone a little crazy on the corona mandates. Like you can't go to a restaurant without a vaccine passport.
A vaccine
vaccine
passport,
card.
a negative test, and your mask. The stuff that people were warning about back in April of 2020, saying, you know what, they're going to tell you 2 weeks, but then they're going to demand that you get vaxxed and double vaxxed, and they're going to say you got to get boosted, and you got to wear a mask, and you got to. People then said they're crazy. Those are conspiracy theorists. Well, guess what, bitches? It's real.
Right.
And it's happening now.
Yeah.
We're not, we have people writing us, oh, those guys are conspiracy theorists. No, we actually have proof.
We live here. We're seeing where it's going on. So
have
it's like,
proof.
I thought about this before I moved here. It was like, because I remember, because you were actually thinking about moving here last year.
We were going to move.
Not we,
Myself and producer Aaron, we're going to move here in May of 2020. But the lockdowns happened.
Serious
COVID hit.
lockdowns. Like you
So-
couldn't even go to the beach. Like if you were standing at the beach or sitting at the beach, like they would come, they would get you.
You're gonna kill
So I
grandma
was like,
standing at the
"Oh,
beach by
man, I don't
yourself
know, yeah.
without your mask. Yeah. Well, you need 10 face shields, and
Yeah.
anyway. So, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because when lockdowns happened for entrepreneurs, we just get busy. That's what we do, and that's when we came up with Blockchain Heroes and
Well, we did virtual
Week.
blockchain week, and then blockchain heroes, and that is an interesting thing, because I saw statistics on how much NFTs the volumes have been sold since 2020, and there was just like nothing early 2020, even when we were starting to do stuff.
Right.
And then we launched Blockchain Heroes in August of 2020, and that quarter there was only 28 million total sales on OpenSea, on Ethereum, Binance, Wax, all of them. Flow, I don't even think Flow wasn't even around then yet.
No flow.
And then this 1 year later, Q3 2021, over $10.5 billion worth of
We may have been early.
We might have been early, but knowing this and seeing some of this gave us like, wow, since this is growing and we see it, we should probably do some things to maybe protect ourselves financially.
So that's the first part of the deal is, and also as a personal investor, one of the other requirements is within 2 years of planting your flag, you have to own a property, whether it's a condo or a house, whatever. You have to proof that this is my primary residence. And so I'm here. So that's another requirement. And so you and I, when we got here, like the first thing we did is I Airbnb'd for a month while looking for a place, found a condo in Palmas del Mar where John Lee Dumas is, my friend Davin Michaels, who's been on the show before, I believe, Theo, who's on the show, and we've probably had other guests.
We've had other ones on the guest too.
That are local.
The one, the Palm Beach newsletter.
Oh, yeah. Tika Tawari is.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get together here with him soon when he's back on the island, because he travels a bunch. But he's here. There's a lot of people here, but really only a few thousand people have migrated from the U.S. to here, and it's not just Palmas. So Palmas del Mar is a community. It's a gated community, about 3 miles long. It's probably got 5,000 or so people in it. Near Humacao, which is on the southeast side of the island. San Juan, which is the capital and the biggest city, to give perspective, is kind of east, north, central. Like it's on the top of the ocean side of the island, on the north side, east of center a little bit. And that's where the airport is. It's about 55 minutes from me. And then a lot of people are moving there into a little suburban area called Condado, which is also San Juan. It's more young, urban, hip. And then the billionaires are moving to a community that's west of San Juan called Dorado.
That is true. Now,
that's where Logan Paul is.
Logan Paul and Brock Pierce. And
Yeah,
some of those
I
other
think
guys.
Brock
No,
might
Brock
be in
is
San
there.
Juan.
No. Brock is over there.
Brock's in
I've been to his
Dorado.
house. Yeah, a couple
Okay,
times. Yeah,
well,
it's
there you
very,
go.
it's very. He has a complex now. He's bought multiple big multi-million-dollar
Yeah.
homes. One is his party home. He actually has his daytime home and his nighttime party home. Serious. And then he's got this whole big strip of land that he's going to build like little condos for his guests to stay at if
Nice.
they need to party too long or hang out. But that area is it's beautiful, but it's very flat. Like in this area where we are over here on the east, and so if you look at Puerto Rico, it's basically a rectangle, sideways rectangle. Kind of looks like a
With the
sideways
corner
cell phone.
shaved off.
Yeah. And then I'm in Luquillo, which is sort of like the northeast, sort of like where Maine would be. And Palmas is a little bit lower. So I'm about 30 minutes away from Palmas, but then I'm also 30 minutes away from San Juan. So it's
Palmas
like a
would
little
kind of be
triangle.
like the Georgia of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, kind of like the Georgia if we were
Yeah.
smooshed it down.
Yeah.
And probably like, yeah, maybe Pennsylvania would be San Juan. But then the California side of Puerto Rico is over on the west coast, where it's like Rincon
Right.
and Mayaguez and some of those other countries.
Rincon is more like a traditional California beach town.
Yeah, it is.
Right, it feels like that. But what they're missing over there, and what I've heard from friends who have been out
Chipotle.
there, is
I miss Chipotle.
You miss Chipotle. We need to open up a Chipotle. By the way, they're opening up 2 Chick-fil-A's on the island soon. One of them is in Humacao, of all places. They're building it right by the Walmart, which is 10 minutes outside the gates where we live.
Oh, God, it's gonna be so
You're not going to be able to get in. Right, the lines are going to be crazy.
What is about that? This is hilarious. I got to mention this. There is the KFCs here,
right?
But a lot of the KFCs actually have the Taco Bell connected to it. So KFCs, there's churches,
Burger King, McDonald's.
No, I'm talking specifically chicken.
Okay,
KFC, churches, and Popeyes, and now Chick-fil-A. Like they freaking love their chicken here.
Yeah, pollo.
They love.
Pollo. It's pollo.
Oh yeah.
Well, I love pollo. So.
Me llamo pollo, muchos pollo.
Pinchos.
Oh God, that's one reason to come to Puerto Rico.
What are pinchos?
Pinchos are basically shish kebab, sort of barbecue chicken breast, kind of little chunks. It's like little chicken nuggets, shish kebabbed, and grilled, and then barbecued. To you know what? That's why. Say Wednesday. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go down and see Wario. If you know Wario and Luquillo, Wario's pinchos are the best pinchos.
I'm a Wario. I got the best of pinchos.
He's got the best of pinchos. But he's not Wario like that Wario. He's Juario.
You need to take
He's
me
Wario.
there. We need to go there. Yeah. So, anyway, let me see if I can
I think that's
steer
what I
this.
can break a fast with that. I'll break a fast with some damn pinchos.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes. So let me see if I can get us back on track.
You're back
here.
at Rincon, Beach Village.
Rincon, yeah. So there's certain areas, pockets of the island, and that's why it's getting the reputation of Crypto Rico. But here, where we are on the island, it's not just crypto people. More crypto people are coming, but it's not just crypto people.
Not at all. In my area, there's no crypto people at all.
You got a crypto dog.
I got a crypt dog.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like I like Palmas. Palmas is a beautiful, curated sort of community, and there's lots of golf courses. To me, it seemed like more of a retirement community.
Well, there's families,
Yeah.
couples, and retired people. It's not the best place for single people.
Yeah.
We know some single people there, but they got to go into the city to.
But I was like, dude, I mean, seriously, like we do most of our podcast via Zoom, so like
Right.
we can be on the island. We don't got to be in the same city
Right.
or in the same mile away from each other. Even if we were in the same mile away from each other, we probably wouldn't even do podcasts together at the same time in the same room most of the time.
Yeah, I don't want to be that close to you that
Yeah,
often.
I mean, we don't. It's like
This is good. I can, this is just enough,
it's
Travis,
good,
for me.
It's enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay, so the Act 20 or 22, whichever part it was, the investor portion is one financial reason to be here. But wait, there's more.
Mm-hmm.
The other part of what is now Act 60, excuse me, is the export services portion.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about that a little bit while I take a drink?
Yeah, go ahead and take a drink there.
I need a drinky drink.
yeah.
Of this, Travis poured this. What did you pour in my water?
It's a little watermelon electrolytes, and then some pink lemonade electrolytes. And so now he's got himself some pink watermelonade. It must be 4:00 because I don't know if you heard that or not, but the fountains just went off on my pool. So they go from it basically cleans itself from 12 until 4.
The fountains of youth.
The fountains are over.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what that means is you are here on the island, but you are doing products or services that impact off the island, right?
Which is what we're doing right now.
Because right now we're doing a product that people beyond in the great world.
We're exporting our words.
We're exporting words. That's it. And we export NFTs and a bunch of other stuff. So that percentage of the thing is basically, I think that's the corporate tax rate of 4%.
Right, that's it. That's you. So you set up your business here. Now I have a business on the island that everything goes through called the Nifty Company. You've got yours,
Nifty Lab.
And so all business that we do goes through our respective companies, and we pay 4% business tax is it to the federal government or to the island? I don't even know.
Well, we'll figure out because it's the start of the new year, and that stuff will all be handled there.
Right.
I got my attorney that's helped handle a lot of stuff yet. I don't have all the details on that yet. We haven't gone through that cycle.
So people hear this, and it's like jaw-dropping. It's like, wait a second. You're not paying capital gains legally. It's not a loophole. It's an incentive. They specifically put it in place to bring entrepreneurs and businesses to the island to help the economy here because in many respects, the island itself is not like the rest of the United States. There are third world aspects to it.
big time.
But yet there's a lot of the modern conveniences.
Especially after Hurricane Maria.
Oh, yeah. Hurricane Maria was
Hurricane Maria.
devastating. John Lee Dumas had moved here just before the hurricane, got off the island, had some damage to his place, but when it took him a while to have to be able to come back because the power was out and there was no internet. And so it took time to rebuild the island. Those who were forward-thinking could have bought properties anywhere on the island at probably 25% of what they're worth now.
Well, even more so in some cases, because I know that this one, at the house that I'm at, the owners right after Maria, they're like, no, we're getting off this island. The dude who owned it, he loved it. And, I mean, if you go and look at the floors around and it's not concrete in my place. The dude installed like coral stones. So it's like coral reef stones all around. And so I heard the amount of money he spent on those stones alone to get them installed was ridiculous. He didn't want to leave, but the wife did. And they sold this house at about 50% less of what the value of it was. And the people who bought it, that I bought it from, they sold it at a decent premium, but still it's worth way more now, even so. But I do have a feeling, because I do know that they were talking about, how with COVID and people weren't able to pay rent and they were behind on mortgages and stuff. I think in this June, I think it's June or July is when the date rolls out where landlords can begin evicting people. They basically said for a year you can't evict people. Mortgages, you can't evict them. So I don't know what's going to happen on that, but there could be a glut of homes available.
Sure. Well,
unless they just take those mortgages and put it at the end of
defer them.
Defer. Yeah.
I'll tell you this right now: the property values have skyrocketed, and if you move to Palmas del Mar, it's hard to find a place. Like we have friends who have been here renting for a year or two that still have not been able to locate. We got really fortunate to find the place that we found, and it's just a 2-bedroom condo. That's where when you guys hear me usually recording or when you see me streaming, I'm out of that place.
But it's like a 5-story 2-bedroom condo.
It feels like it because there's a secret room.
Yeah,
don't tell anybody about the secret room. So those are the financial reasons to be here. But on top of that, I don't know about you, but I grew up in Illinois. So I stood at the damn bus stop in those cold winters for 12 years. Yeah. And then I spent 20 years in the South. Most people wouldn't refer to it as the South, but from Illinois, Texas, and Oklahoma are the South. And, I was in Tornado Alley. And then I spent 14 years in Colorado. And Colorado has, summer and winter pretty much. You kind of skip most of fall. Fall just happens one day. All the leaves just hit the ground with one good rain. And spring is short because winter extends. And so, you deal with the cold. You also deal with the beauty in Denver. But I've had the mountains.
My God, your place and that last place that you lived. Because, I was there at one place on High Street.
Yeah.
And then when you moved and got that on the 23rd floor overlooking and you were seeing the mountains and this. That shit is so beautiful.
It was amazing. I lived there for 3 years. I had floor-to-ceiling windows and just a view of the entire Front Range. You could see all the way up past Fort Collins, the mountains there, all the way down to Colorado Springs.
Unbelievable.
But, so I've lived on the plains.
Sunsets
I've lived in the mountains.
Sexy, weren't
they were very sexy. But I've never lived on the beach. And, one of the dreams a lot of people have is being in a place where the weather is always beautiful and it's sunny and there's water, it's beach. And so now my point was every time I went on vacation somewhere tropical, the worst part of it would be leaving. I hated leaving. You go to Hawaii or you go to Jamaica or you go to Puerto Rico and you're just getting in the groove. You've been here for a week and now you got to get on a plane and go back to wherever it is that life takes place.
Right.
Well, we never have to leave here. And I love that.
And by God, when you first got here, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
You got here in April, you're like, and you did not leave until like November or something, did you?
You can't, I've been offered keynotes, and I'm like, you're not able to pay me enough to leave the island. I'm not trying to be snooty. It's just like my time.
No, you're so fancy. It's like, we're so fancy now.
My time is better spent being home working on the next NFT project. That will make me more in the long run than traveling for a day, because it is not, to go to even to go to Florida now is a 2.5 hour flight, right? But to go to California, It's an all day deal.
That's what is it, a 6-hour flight or something?
At least 6 hours. Man. And if you want to go to New York, it's just a long ass way. And I'm like, in dealing with commercial travel right now, who wants to deal with that?
Right.
It's just so. But we are going to Bitcoin Miami.
Yes.
We're on the schedule to be on the main stage for a fireside chat.
But we're doing it right now from the house, and then you can just watch it on video there.
That's right. So, people have told me that have seen me that I look more relaxed. And I think I am. In fact, I'm going to take a nap right now.
You're going to take a nap right this very minute. Yeah, it's been a process, right? Because I know, man, whenever what I got about it, whenever I said I'm moving to Puerto Rico, and even after I came here, people were like, what? You're joking. You're not moving to because I live in Kansas City. Like, I grew up in a small town in Missouri, and, I got so many friends that never have left the fucking town.
Nope.
That have stuck there their whole entire life.
And that's fine. If that's you, then you do you.
Yeah.
That's not us.
Yeah. Well, it's like I can't deal with that. Like, it's too small minded, and people in a lot of cases people are just a little too short sighted, right? I think it's like growing in a small town, and then like you fart, and then the person on the other side of town already knows about it before you finally. Before it's even.
I can smell yours from Palmas.
Right.
Just so you know.
Well, those,
I'm like, whoa, Travis just
some
farted.
are pretty brutal, especially if I've had lots of corn. But it's it's like I got out of high school and I went to the Army. But it's like I wasn't ready to fully leave then. Like, my mom was freaking out, and family's like, we made you blah blah blah. So I've lived in Kansas City area for most of the time. Like, all right, but eventually, Mom, you're gonna have to cut the umbilical cord. Right? We got FaceTime, we got Zoom, we got Whereby, we can chat, right? And so that's just what's been great, man. And flying my kids down here and staying and hanging out. They love the pool, and it's like this house right here. When you see it, you're gonna go, "Wow, that thing cost millions." Nope, no, not even half of one. Right? It's it's crazy the value here. It's like this house in California would probably. I've heard this house in California would be a $5 to $7 million home.
Yeah.
In Florida, it's a $3-4 million home. But here, it's not even a $500,000 home.
Yeah, it's amazing. This is the home that Omi built.
This is the home that that was one of the things. Like, we saw some crypto projects. You make some investments, and you go, wait a second, wow, that could be interesting.
Right.
And so you make some more, and then I've had lots of losses. I lost 55 Bitcoin along the way.
Yeah.
I maybe have lost another one. It's in a Trezor that is at this moment undetermined its location, but I know it's in one spot
but you
or
have
another.
the keys, maybe.
Yeah, I got the keys.
Okay, so you have the keys. You haven't lost it.
Yeah, so it's good.
You're good.
Yeah.
You didn't lose it. Don't try to play off like, you're losing more Bitcoin. Look at me. I lost more Bitcoin.
Yeah, stupid dork. Lost his crypto kitties last episode. No, it's like this. But no, it's like you win some, you lose some, and luckily along the way we've won more than we've lost. But we knew this was most likely going to happen, and that's why we were telling folks, hey, our goal is to help create 1,000 millionaires. That was one of my goals. And like, for you guys
I don't aspire to the same thing. I wanted to create 999
You didn't care at all. He wanted to create one. His name was Joel.
That's somewhat true.
But you figure it's one of those, it's that universal truth, like Napoleon Hill. If you add value to others, value comes back to you. So you figure you help other people with what they want, you get what you want. And
that's Zig Ziglar.
Yeah, Zig Ziglar says that too. Yeah. Well, I think Napoleon Hill said it first, and then Ziglar put his spin on it. But I love all those positive thinkers, those personal development. That was a beautiful amount of birds that just flew by.
Did you see that birds? Well, you guys will get, like, if you go to the website and watch the video for the extra, we're going to show you some more of what we're seeing here. Because right now you're just looking at our fat asses.
Yeah. I saw there was like something that was going up in that tree a while ago. I have no idea what it was because I know there's not
a monkey.
Monkeys. There shouldn't be any monkey. I've never heard any monkeys here. But at nighttime, you can definitely hear these coqui frogs. Coqui. A lot of frogs. I have a cow that'll come down, a couple cows that'll come up from pasture and eat the grass here. I think we heard it moo even once during the thing. I'm not sure. But then I have these beautiful egrets, these big white birds with long white necks. It's like the giraffe of birds. And this thing will come and fly. It's beautiful. And the other day, there was a snake outside that was underneath the Chase Lounge thing, the pool lounger, got in the water, swam through it, got out, swam it, climbed out the wall, and got the hell out. Like, what the hell?
So here on the
Welcome
island,
to the jungle.
right? Lizards are squirrels. Like there's lizards everywhere, and then iguanas are like our raccoons, and they are big ass. Like
and they're not native to the island.
they are not. They were not indigenous. They were brought here, and so dogs will hunt them. We'll see wild dogs, and Palmas walking around with this big old, 4-foot iguana hanging out of its
gonna
mouth.
have a meal.
Yeah, there's like at dinner time, kids.
Yeah.
But the side benefits that I had hoped for, but did not necessarily know how that would work out. When you pick up, you leave your friends, you leave your family. And Aaron and I came here with Rufus, and we knew John Lee Dumas and Kate, and we knew Davin Michaels and Liz, and there was a couple others that I had known on the periphery. I got to say, in a matter of a month, I was more plugged in to a social circle with people that I enjoyed and wanted to spend time with than 14 years in Colorado.
Right.
That's what's happening here. It is like instant community. Add water, makes its own sauce.
Yeah, and I mean, think about this. Think of all those people who have moved here for crypto-related stuff, and in San Juan, like they have all these crypto events. Like the networking here for crypto people is just literally it's
Crypto
unbelievable.
Mondays, which I've not been to. You spoke at one.
Yes, I've been to a couple of them, and I spoke at one, and then now it's like vaccines and passports and stupid stuff, and so I'm like, meh. What's going to happen when they say you got to have all this shit to go to a grocery store? Are they going to intentionally starve people? Because they're doing it in some countries already.
I don't know. Can we not talk about that?
Yeah, let's not talk about
Let's not
that.
talk
This is
about
crazy.
that.
This shit's on my mind.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about, actually, it's like Tulum and, Cancun, that area over there. Whenever I did that trip, it was so beautiful. I'm going to be actually going there for, 4 or 5 weeks or so and hanging out and seeing how Mexico is, because I know Mexico,
They're free.
They're way more free than I think people are going to start. I think eventually people in America are going to start sneaking over the border to go live in Mexico.
The other way. And what's really interesting, and you think people would pick up on this, is their infection and death rate is not any worse than all the places that are doing this. Anyway, I said I didn't want to talk about that. You conspiracy theorists, stop hitting us with data and
I'm
truth.
sorry, I don't know.
Damn
I
it.
can't tell you what to do.
So let's talk for a moment here about some of the things we've discovered living here on the island.
Okay,
The people are very nice.
very nice.
Some of them don't speak any English
At all.
at all. Some of them you hablo inglés, and they're like, no, but then they try and you see, they're actually better. It's like when it's not your native language, you're always kind of like, oh, I'm nervous to do that, but they can get by for the most part.
Well, and so think of this: Puerto Rico, last year was the 500th anniversary of San Juan, right? From when the Spanish conquistadors came over, did their thing.
They conquisted.
Right? They conquisted, and
They
that's
had
the thing is
some queso.
so think of this: they have been colonialized by the Spanish, and then like in 1898 or something like that. I don't know if that's the exact date, but America annexed Puerto Rico, so they've been under colonial ruling for the most part for I don't even know how long.
The camera turned off for a moment, so I switched to my iPhone camera for continuation of the video delight that is before your eyes.
Puerto Rico good?
Oh, the things that so we got distracted for a moment. The community that's built in here is incredible. I mean, we have friends, the good people, right, that are like-minded.
A lot of like-minded. And I would say about that is those the social groups, right? To be able to connect with people on different, like the Signal groups and the WhatsApp groups and the opportunities that become. It's like, it's like one of those things, like you become who you hang around. So if you hang around people who've been successful and moved to Puerto Rico for crypto or other business things, like it's like a ongoing sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's so easy. Like
Self-perpetuating.
if we need something, we'll just post in the group. Does anybody have, or does anybody know? And a reply comes in, for a connection. You need a plumber. Oh, we recommend this person. You need an AC guy. We recommend this person. You need somebody to come in, and you need insurance. Oh, this is a good broker. It's all.
But I'm not in Palma, so I'm not in all the good Palmas groups. But I am in some of the.
You're in the Luquillo group. You're the only guy.
I'm in the guy in Luquillo. Yeah, I asked the person at my homeowners association about that. Like I was crazy. Like, no, why would we have this? Why would we do that? Okay, wow. I mean, connecting your community, that's not our responsibility. Like, isn't it a community? Like, this should be connected, and like people should know. Like, is there? There's not. Okay, well, fine.
You can just come hang out with us,
Right? Yeah.
and we'll throw a party here at your place.
Yeah, we'll throw a party here. We can be loud here.
You got the thing. There's some other interesting observations being here. First of all, you do not have all the modern conveniences that you are used to if you live in the continental
Like
U.S.
Chipotle.
Yeah. There's no Chipotle. I'm sorry. I know you really want that burrito.
Dude,
I miss my
but
Chipotles.
it's like there's authentic Mexican food. Yeah, there's a difference between Authentico and Chipotle. I just like to have some Chipotle every once in a while.
He just wants
You know what I mean?
authentic Chipotle.
Yeah.
We have our Walmarts and our grocery stores and all that, but their supply is usually not the same level of supply that you would find. We do have a Costco in Caguas, which is about 30 minutes from Palmas.
I would say this: Aaron might need to go to the Fresh Mart place. It's sort of like a Whole Foods. We went there yesterday. Really, really nice. A great selection of stuff. Really, I was like, oh man, this is. I mean, I could have spent. And there's one in Carolina, and there's one more in San Juan. That's probably a much bigger one. Great organic, healthy foods. I was like, oh yeah. And the thing is that I hear, now is that I don't go to restaurants anymore because of like, you need the vaccine, this, and you need the test.
And you got an air fryer.
So I got an air fryer. So I don't even, I just like cook my own stuff, right? And it's really good. It's really conducive for fasting too. It's like if you can't go to a restaurant, you can go to fast food.
There's no DoorDash.
No DoorDash. There's no Uber in my community. There's no Uber in
no
that.
Uber by my.
Yeah.
You can get an Uber in San Juan and take it to someplace on the island, but you can't call for one to pick you up. So my community is very much a golf cart community.
Yeah.
So I never thought I would own a golf cart, but we own
You love that thing,
an
though, don't
SUV, and we got a little golf cart.
You got a bad crypto sticker on it?
I think so. Yeah, the SUV we call Red. It's a red Jeep Explorer, and then the cart is also red flavored, but we call it Roja, which of course is Spanish for red.
Ironically, for vehicles, whenever we came up here, it's like I saw this. I wanted to get a Jeep Wrangler, and I was like, "Oh man, this thing's." And I went to the place. I went to the dealership that had it, and this was like there was no rental cars on this whole island because after Maria and also after the COVID, is that a lot of shit got repoed because people couldn't pay. There's no travelers. So a lot of rental car stuff repoed. So like. There's no rental cars. When we first came in here, I couldn't get a rental car.
I remember that.
So I was like, I got to get a car. I was like, I want to get this Wrangler. It was a nice, beautiful gray Wrangler, and they had sold it the night before. And I was like, oh. And so I ended up getting a blue Renegade, which is
Renegade, not Explorer.
the exact same model as yours.
Right. Yours is blue,
except
mine
a
is
different
red.
color. That's blue.
Different mileage. That's funny.
I didn't even realize that at the time. But then when I realized it, I was like, oh my God, that's gay.
Twinsies. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We didn't plan it that way. It just
turned
happened
out
that way. So that was the first thing I did. Like when we landed in San Juan, I had spec'd out a vehicle because I knew I'm going to be, an hour away from San Juan. I'm going to need a vehicle.
Yeah.
So before we even came to the Airbnb, first stop was buy a car, which by the way, this is one of the downsides. Things move slowly here. You are on island time. Mail gets here slower. Amazon Prime is not truly Prime. It could take a week to 2 weeks to get your Prime item here. Some things don't ship here. You have to learn to finagle the ins and outs of how to get certain things.
Super heavy stuff is like you're going to pay a major fee. Like sometimes when they say, "Oh, it's free in the continental United States," and then it's like, "Whoa, $500 to ship it to Puerto Rico."
Right, like
if it's a big heavy thing.
I ordered some Omaha steaks, and they come in this dried ice cooler,
do that.
and it says free shipping. But then you go and like to Puerto Rico, it's $39.99. I'm like, I don't care. I want my meat.
Yeah.
Send me my delicious meats from
I'm gonna
Omaha
have to do that.
Steaks.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Who is not sponsoring the show and who I do not have an affiliate code for. But you just kind of get used to not having all the things you had. There's a trade-off. It's like, okay, I'm living in a beautiful place in a community surrounded by awesome people. I'm keeping the money that I'm making and not giving it to the U.S. government for programs that I don't even agree with and probably don't actually help the people that are intended to help.
Well, it's not only that. It's like just being able to turn that money into more money without having it have a big chunk taken out of it while you're able
Right.
to leverage it. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
like, in a lot of ways, it's the way it should be. There's so many, it's like consumption-based taxes. I think that's kind of what happens is that you don't get as much income taxes, but things are more expensive and there's more
Yes.
taxes when stuff gets sent to you. There's taxes on that. There's, highway toll taxes, and they get their money. It's just in a little different way. It's not in the traditional American pay this big chunk. You're paying. It's like whenever like the electric bill's high,
Right.
right? And then there's like whenever I moved into my home, it took 3 weeks to get electricity turned on. Even though I have solar power, they wouldn't, because of the grid scenario. They say I have to be connected to the grid to be able to kick on my solar to be able. I'm like, but I'm off the. Why can't I be off the grid? Like, no, you can't. Blah blah blah. Like, wow. So there's just some silly stuff that goes on. But I think that was also because of the time that I moved. They had the government was the private electric company, and they were switching over it to, or they were the public, and they were switching it over to private, and it was right in that flex zone. With 3 weeks, it was so hot in July to not be able to, June to not be able to get into my home.
But
serious?
most of the year, your lows at night are around 72, 73, and your highs during the day are 84 to 85. In the winter, it's maybe 82.
Yeah,
Summers,
it's really miserable.
It's-
I was telling my friends about that. I sent it over on Instagram. I was like, oh my God, 81 high today, 72 tonight,
Every
81
day.
high tomorrow, 70, 81, 81, 81, 81.
I don't even look at the weather anymore because it's going to be like this every day. And then it'll rain. Usually it's a quick rain. It moves out like once in a blue
We're literally
moon.
growing a garden.
Right.
We got
Right.
gardens.
We'll show you guys that on the bonus as well. We both have
Serious.
we both have gardens where we're getting fresh cabbage and lettuce and tomatoes and chard. And
I got
all
some
kinds of-
japalanos.
Yeah, and japalinos. So you've got your trade-offs, but totally worth it. Like, how long do I see myself being here? I don't know. At least 2 years, that's for sure, because you have to meet the requirements.
I love the tropical environment now, though.
Oh,
I
man.
used to not like it because of the humidity, but now it's almost like I got a nice AC. The
It's
AC
not
is what
bad
it's
here,
not-
though.
It's not, so
It's
horrible.
not like Florida humid.
It was. I would say it was humid in July through like September. Like there was some. It was like you go outside, you're like ugh, but like it's a nice cool breeze at nighttime now. It's
It's beautiful. Well, especially on the east side of the island, we have the trade winds.
Yeah.
And so I like, if I can't sleep at night, I just go out on my terrace and I look up at the stars, and it's beautiful. I rarely put on long pants. I pretty much live in shorts and a t-shirt all the time. My wardrobe has shrunken like this, and I don't even wear 3/4 of what's in it. Because you don't need it here, people. It's island life.
But here, that's one of the things I like. My house specifically is I have this big hill behind me. This is a huge hill, and it really blocks those hurricane type winds.
Yeah.
Because if there's hurricanes, whenever there was a hurricane here before, like one of my tiny little panes of glass broke, and then the neighbor's shed flew into my pool. That was the only damage that happened to that whole
Like
hurricane.
you're Kansas again.
Yeah. But so I really like that, but it does block the trade winds. It would be a lot cooler here if I did those hills. But if I want to, I can just go stand up on that hill, and it's much nicer.
People are like, "What? All those hurricanes?" We just went through hurricane season. We didn't even have a tropical storm. Maria is one of those 1 in 100 year type things. I mean, they got hit smack dab in the middle of it.
And then it stayed.
And then it stayed. But typically, people here, they're not even really scared of Cat 1 and Cat 2 and sometimes Cat 3. They're like, if a Cat 4 is coming, then leave the island. But it's not like a tornado, like, boom, tornado hits, you get in your shelter, because it's instant. You have warning. These things move at a rate where, like, if they see something massive coming your way, you just get off the island,
Did you
right?
feel that cool breeze that just
I
came
did
by?
feel the
That
cool
was
breeze.
nice.
Did
It
you
was very
summon
nice.
that?
I did. I
was
was
like,
trying to
cool
I harnessed the cool breeze. Because I was just
breeze.
bitching about how, like, you never really get a cool breeze. And then it's like,
So
liar.
it just came right through.
Yeah.
I did feel that. It was refreshing.
It's very nice.
It was like God was like, all right, watch this.
Ooh. You're like, you need to get a damn fan. I'm like, I know, I need to get a ceiling fan right there. One of
Yeah.
those big ass fans.
So, is there a threat of tropical storms here? Yeah, but, we'll have warning. Also, there's a lot of people on the island that leave. You got to put your 6 months plus a day in, and so they'll do that during the best time of the year, which is your winter. Right,
Stay here then?
They stay here, and in the winter, and then May comes around, it starts to get a little hotter. They might go travel, go elsewhere, and during hurricane season, which is pretty much September and October, is when your biggest threat is. That's when they go and do other stuff and leave the island. A lot of people, have somebody stay at their place if they want to, or they Airbnb.
Yeah. There's going to be a hurricane season, so come stay at my house.
But people do. They like in our community, especially. We're one of the oldest communities in Palmas del Mar, and there's a lot of rentals. In fact, I think in the building of the condo that I own, we're the only permanent resident. Everybody else is transient. People come and go, and like, this is our place, bitches. And we have a pool there, just one building over.
What do you complain about which parking spot I spot parking? Because it doesn't matter if nobody's there.
Because people, trust me, it's an issue. So
choose one. There's nobody here.
I have a perpetual tan now.
That's good.
Yeah.
My freckles are getting better.
Yeah.
You know what? That is true too. It's like, getting out. That is one thing that I really do enjoy about this. I'll get up around whenever I get up, and then I'll go out and get a little bit of sunlight. 15, 20 minutes. I'll never stay out for long, getting sun for more than 30 minutes, because then you'll get burned. But if I'm doing that right there, I'm going out and get a little bit of sunlight. And I tell you what, you feel amazing when you get some vitamin D in your system.
Yeah.
Like you should totally do that. And then another thing is I watched this documentary the other day about grounding and earthing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, think of this. We are all made of our biology is electric. Like every cell has protons, neutrons, electrons, right? And grounding gives your body it actually fuels your mitochondria.
That's why it's great to walk on the beach barefoot.
That's why barefoot to walk on the beach. And so I got this. If you can't do that, go out. And they said basically if you go out and stand barefoot on earth just for a few minutes, boom, you're going to supercharge your body. But I've noticed this is I got this thing called an earthing mat that I put on my bed that I plug into the ground of your electric thing. You plug it into the ground. Oh my God. I have been sleeping so well, almost to the fact that I feel like when I wake up, I'm buzzing. Like I really feel like I'm like, whoa, I got way more energy than I normally do. Oh my God. Like it does. Like the first couple nights was like, I wasn't even able to sleep all that great because I was like, whoa, it felt like I was just getting this like a nurturing hug. Like you just lay on, you're like, whoa, it just feels different to lay on one of these grounding pads because all those electrons charging up. Like my cells are not used to being fully charged up with all these electrons. And so, because I like to wear shoes. If you're wearing tennis shoes most of the time and your feet never touch the ground, then you are probably severely deficient in electrons for your mitochondria.
Damn it.
Isn't that crazy?
And your metachlorians are probably messed up.
Yeah, right.
Too.
My metachlorians are on point though, dude. I got the Jedi. I got it down.
Grounding mat. We need to find a link to that, and I need to try that as well. What other cons have we? Because they do think a little differently here. If you're driving, they have no respect for the left lane.
There's a reason.
I know. What do you know about it?
Well, here's the thing, man. It's like everybody will drive in the left lane. Doesn't matter how fast or how slow. And you're like, and then there's the idiots that are just weaving in and out of traffic. I think
that's me. I'm a weaver. I'm the idiot.
You're a little aggressive driver.
I'm the weaver.
I'm a chill driver. I'm like, all right, let these idiots do their thing.
I have an objective when I'm in a car. The theory is when you're in a car, it's because you're trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And some people disperse.
Just enjoy the process, man. It's like I'm not gonna let idiots bother me. But anyways, a lot of idiots out there driving, and they're worse here. I think we went to Bali. Mm-hmm. Bali was a little different because there's all the motorbikes,
all the scooters,
the scooters everywhere. But some of the worst drivers I've ever seen are here, and the reason the left lane is because back in the day, like it doesn't matter, grandma is going to drive super slow in the left lane because back in the day when they were doing repairs to the road, they would only repair the left lane. And so people are conditioned to drive on the good lane, which is the left lane. I don't care how slow I'm going to go. I'm going to do that. People drive with their blink. They won't use blinkers. They have their fucking their bright lights on at all times.
And when there's traffic on the highway and cars are bumper to bumper stopped, it is not unusual to see the third lane open up, right? The shoulder. Like people will drive. Yeah, they'll just hop on the shoulder. Only one time did I see a police officer pull somebody over.
They just
for
don't.
that.
The police are very lax here. It
Yeah.
just seems like they just let it go, let it go.
I got pulled over
You did?
one time.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's funny because where he was, I was on the highway and I knew I was speeding. I pulled over on the left side and he pulled over on the right, and he rolls down the window and starts speaking to me in Spanish. This is the funniest thing. Aaron was with me. And the first
You
thing
pulled
that-
over on the left side.
I pulled on the left side, and he's like, we're rolling down the windows, we're looking out. He's over there yelling at me, and and the first thing that came out of my mouth was "No hablo inglés." And she looks at me and starts laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so.
Aaron
funny.
laughed at you?
Yeah, because I'm like, no hablo inglés. I don't speak English. That's what I'm. And he's looking at me, and he's trying to speak to me in Spanish. And
You said no hablo inglés.
yeah, it was hilarious. That's what came out. I'm going to speak in Spanish and tell you that I don't speak English. It's classic. So,
Oh my God.
so he's still talking, and then he realizes I don't speak any Spanish, and he goes to me, "It's 60. It's 60." And I look at him, and I know full well, but I'm going to play dumb. I go, "Oh, 60." And he looks at me, and he just waves me out. He's like, "Stupido gringo."
Oh my God, that happened to me. I got pulled over in Albania, and they were wanting to give me a ticket in Albania, and I'm like, I don't speak Albanese or whatever you even speak, right? And I was like, but I wasn't doing anything. I don't even know what he thought I did wrong, and he was like so angry, and then something else happened. Just go. I'm like, okay. I'm like, dude, I'm one of the best drivers here. Like, there is some horrible drivers in Albania too, just like on your ass, like they're driving Formula 1 racing. Like, like I'm driving good. What do you mean? I'm not going cray. But this episode's going cray. Like, what
This
are we, like
episode's
15
gone
minutes?
long. We're close to an hour into
Oh,
it.
man.
So I think, hey, if this has been helpful, or if you have additional questions, maybe we'll take your questions
Yeah.
about Puerto Rico, our experiences here, and anything that you want to know, and we'll address them in a
Yeah.
future edition.
Or if you're already here. Like, I've ran into people at Crypto Monday who says, I'm here in Puerto Rico because you talked about it.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
So how many of those are here? Let's see if there's already enough to have a party. We'll have
Yeah,
a party.
let us know that you're here. Write us at badcryptopodcast@gmail.com. And
Bad Crypto Party Cast.
and check out the website for the show notes of this episode, which, if I recall correctly, are badco.in/580, and we'll put up a bonus. We're going to film a video right now that shows. We're just going to hang out a little extra.
Is that what
and
we're
show
gonna
you
do?
the yard. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do that.
Okay, Joel's going to show my yard.
So let's wrap it up.
Okay, stay back.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor. Turtle. Tuki.
Tuki. I think I do have her convinced that the. I do think I have her convinced that they're saying Tuki. Like, they go Cookie. I'm like Tuki. And she's like, they're saying my name.
Hasta luego, amigos.